Hi, I'm here to talk about pet adoption and why it's better to adopt an animal versus going and buying one from a designer dog store or through breeders. One startling fact in America is that there are 8 million pets currently in shelters each year. And even scarier than that is that 50% of animals entering shelters every year, of this 8 million, have to be euthanized due to pet overpopulation. Thankfully, around 50% do get adopted or sent to animal rescue sanctuaries and places of this sort. But to house an animal in a care facility that doesn't euthanize is very costly. It's on average about $3,250 to pay for bedding, food, vet bills, and this is all very costly. And taxpayers do pay a little bit of this, but most of it's relied upon donors. And sadly, there's not always enough money, so pets and these animals do have to be euthanized eventually, which is terrible. One startling thing is, out of all the cats that are picked up by, the Humane Society, the dog pound, all these different places, only 2 to 5% of cats are actually reclaimed, and 30% of dogs are reclaimed. And that's a big burden on our system. And another startling fact is 25% of all animals in shelters are purebred. So that means they came from either puppy mills or local breeders and places of these nature. One thing that I would really like to push is that buying an animal from a breeder is very terrible for animals. Also, it's much cheaper to buy an animal through adoption, and there are many benefits to adopting an animal versus buying one. Why it's terrible to buy animals from breeders or from these designer stores that most of them get their dogs through what they call puppy mills. And it's where animals are actually kept in a cage their entire life, and their sole job is just to be fertile and breed more sellable, profitable animals. Now when these dogs and cats are no longer fertile, they're just discarded, which makes place for another animal to go through that life cycle. Now the animals that are crate born, a lot of these animals never get proper medical treatment. They don't get their shots, they don't get spayed or neutered, and they go right back into the system. And that's why we get 2 to 4 million purebred animals coming into the system every year. A startling thing about Florida is there's no laws that make a breeder need to be licensed or have regulations or anything of that nature. So anybody can be a dog or cat breeder. And these animals, they just end right back up in our system because people buy these expensive dogs, they have problems with them, and then they either just release them to shelters or they just abandon them. And another thing about adopting versus going out and buying one of these expensive puppy mill dogs or cats is adopting an animal is very cheap. You can actually get most dogs and cats for under $65, and that comes with shots, sometimes even microchips, and they'll have their tags, and they'll be spayed and neutered. Also, you'll have a complete medical workup of most dogs from Hillsborough County facilities. This will help you in the long run, especially if you were to ever lose the animal. They would have tracked through a tag or microchip, and that's a great benefit. Another benefit in rescuing animals is a huge benefit, because not only does it cut down on the resources taken from our system to help, feed and protect and give medical care for all these animals that are abandoned each year, is every time you adopt an animal, that frees up another spot. And there's more benefits to adopting an animal. When you adopt an animal from such as the SPCA or the Humane Society, every animal has a profile setting for them. They'll tell you if this animal is suitable for children, what type of home, are they good with other dogs, are they friendly, and they'll also give you a complete medical history of that dog and all of its current medical statuses. Plus, one thing that's great about getting a dog from these places is like I said, they're already going to be all treated. They'll have parasite cleaned, and they'll just be completely treated. You'll know exactly what's wrong with them. But I just wanted to state seriously is adopting an animal versus buying an animal is a huge deal. When you buy an animal from one of these breeders, you're just giving them more money to create another situation to create more dogs. And they're thinking, wow, we're getting all this money. Well, let's just keep punching out these animals. And that's more animals going right back into the system. And that what leads to that 8 million per year. But like the rehash is the best thing to do when looking for an animal is always check out your local adoption facilities. You can do this by going to petpopulation.org or the humanesocietyofamerica.org. They'll show you where your local SPCAs and Humane Society buildings and even kill shelters are located. Also, these places are always in need of money, or you can go and volunteer and donate your time. Well, thank you for listening to me about animal adoption, and I hope I could persuade you to adopt your next pet.